These are antique Czech Republic pins. I got them from a follower. I traded him for 10 ounces of silver for this stuff, and it might seem kind of silly, but there could be some serious treasures in here. I gotta do a lot of research. Some of these pins might be 20, 30 bucks each. Potentially, anyway, or I think I'll do better than break even on this stuff. With weird niche stuff like this, it can be a home run sometimes. I mean, people are willing to pay a lot of money to satisfy their niche hobbies. So thank you, Chad, my follower, for sending me all these Czech pins. This is really cool, and I don't know, I think I'm gonna have fun researching these and figuring out what they all are. So far, the one thing that I've deduced is if they're alcohol themed, then they're worth like 20 bucks each. Some of these might be alcohol themed, I honestly don't know. There's so much research to do here. Smoking a hand-rolled cigarette. Juliet likes them. I don't really smoke cigarettes, but I'm having a day. Going over these pins, let me show you guys these quick. This is the Leningrad Ice Riders. It's some kind of like a militaria pin. And this is like some kind of like a Soviet industrial pin. These are both stamped that they're gold, but I could tell just by feeling them, they're too lightweight. And this is why you gotta be careful with foreign gold. Even though it's stamped, like you can see right here, it says 14K. You gotta test it, you gotta be sure, you gotta feel it. If it feels suspicious, it's not good. I mean, you know, kind of terrible, but like the sketchier the country, the more, the higher the odds that it's, even though it's stamped, it's not real. But still, I got each of these pins up for 100 bucks. Let's hope I can sell them. Usually I do pretty well on the Soviet militaria stuff. So now I'm gonna clean up this saddle that I found in the dumpster with the saddle soap. And then I'm gonna throw it up on eBay, and this is the definition of found money, because this will go for, oh, I bet at least 250, 300 bucks. And I found it in a dumpster. And by I mean Juliet. Thank you. You're waving, but not saying anything.
Oh, you're welcome.
God damn, look at that. That turned out, this is so clean. The saddle soap works so well. Look at that. If I can pull this out of a dumpster. Oh yeah, this is such a good find. Like among the top finds probably doing this.
Yeah,
like you can see the brand name right here. The saddle is so clean, seriously. I can't believe that somebody's just gonna throw this away. What is going on, you guys? We are Between the Pawn. I'm Evan Kale, and I own a gold and silver business. I just got back from the shop. I am on vacation for a week now. I'm going to New York City. The next Between the Pawn is going to be my New York City trip. So hopefully I had fun and my plane didn't crash and didn't die, and yeah, hopefully that didn't happen. If it did happen, I guess this would be the last Between the Pawn. So again, hopefully that didn't happen. Yes, if you guys are watching this, I'm back from my trip, but I'm just about ready to go. What has been happening this week? Well, as you guys saw, I bought a bunch of interesting Czech pins. The phone's been ringing more and more. I finally got people selling me scrap. I know I sound like a broken record, but like, seriously, the first couple weeks I was a little bit nervous because I was not getting that much business walking in, and it's just been increasing every day. So, yay, sustainability. I've had a few interesting things happen in the store though so far. So this girl came in with her mom, and the girl had a bunch of like old costume jewelry to sell me, and it was old enough where it was worth my time to buy. So I'm going through it, and the mom's on the phone like yelling at American Express or something, and like I'm talking to this girl. And we get done, and I've got a price in my head. I'm thinking 75 for all of her costume jewelry. But I say, okay, so you gotta be 18 to sell to me. Technically I need to barter with your mother. I can't barter with you on this, so whenever she's done. So mom finishes on the phone, and she comes over to me and she goes, what? Well, hang on a sec. Before we go any further with this, why do you have a painting of that man? And she's talking about my Russian general painting that I have hanging. And I turn around, I'm like, oh, what, you know who this guy is? I found this at an antique shop. She goes, do I know who it is? That's Stalin. I'm like, no, it's not. She's like, yes, it is. And I look at her, I'm like, no, it's not. I'm thinking, like, do you really think I would hang a fucking photo of Stalin? She goes, well, I was raised in Russia during the communists, and if you knew how bad they were to the Jews. And I go, lady, I'm Jewish. She goes, oh. Well, I don't think you know very much about Russian history then. And I'm like, I don't want to get rude with her because I don't want to blow this deal, but I'm thinking in my mind, lady, you're like 45. The 1970s in Russia were not that bad. You're being dramatic. But I just kind of politely like swept it under the table. But I had to assure the lady, like, lady, it's not Stalin. Like, doesn't even, okay, it looks a little bit like him because I made a TikTok about this, but Stalin wasn't bald, among other things. So some lady thought I had a painting of a murderous dictator hanging in my store, and I had to correct her that I did not. Other cool stuff. I had a $1,000 bill come in from 1934. I didn't get it on camera. The guy wanted too much money for it. It had some crap on it. Series 1934A $1,000 bills are the least desirable $1,000 bills, and this guy just wanted way more money. Like, I offered him $1,300. I had a buyer lined up at $1,600, and he said no, he wanted $1,600, and I was like, I gotta make some money here. And this is the thing that's been happening a lot, is people like they're like, well, I see your show. I know how much you're gonna sell it for. Yes, I'm running a business, first and foremost. Running a business means I buy for low and sell for high. I've got to eat too. I'm looking into making my own Pawn Man 1-ounce silver rounds. I do have somebody I'm going to be talking to when I get back from the trip to kind of try and move forward on that. So that's fun. My super secret project is dead. Some of you guys figured out. Briefly, I was attempting to run for Congress, or I had filed articles to run for Congress, and I was like exploring doing it, and it's just like, oh no. On so many levels, no. It kind of wasn't my idea. The person who, shall we say, talked me into it or pitched it to me and kind of sold it to me didn't live up to like any of their end of the bargain. And it's like, I initially didn't even want to fucking go there with, like, when it was pitched to me, I was like, no, it's a terrible idea. I'm busy. I'm trying to run a business. I'm like about to go into business for myself, and like I need to devote my time to that. And it was kind of sold to me that like, well, no, we'll build a team around it and you won't have to do all the work. And it just turned out to not be an accurate statement. It was going to be way too much work and way too difficult. And frankly, I like telling dark jokes too much. And like the past couple months, I'm sure you guys have noticed on TikTok, I've like toned down my dark jokes, and I've like kind of started to recalibrate myself and adjust for a new online presence, like in the face of attempting to become a politician. And yeah, fuck that. So it was interesting 3 months of my life. I learned a lot about politics, in that literally it's all about money. Like fucking nothing happens without money. And another reason why it was just like, oh, this is way too daunting. The lady I was going to run against for Congress has $400,000 in her bank account, like right now. So I would have to raise about that much money to even have a fucking chance. And it was just like, I probably spent about 100 hours calling people, like as like an exploratory kind of tell me about the issues, getting to know the district, and asking for money because it's all about money. And basically everybody was like, oh, you don't fucking stand a chance against this woman. Don't waste my time. So yep, no. E for effort, fun while it lasted, good learning experience. Maybe I'll, you know, I'm not saying no forever. I'm not saying no forever to doing this, but for right now, this is a terrible time, so fuck that. So back to being the Pawn Man and concentrating on that. Finally, I want to say, some of you guys have noticed that like my episode, the length has been shrinking, and like, you know, I'm very cognizant that the old store was better television than the new store so far, but I have 2 episodes of Pawn Man I haven't released yet that I've recorded, and they're much better. It was really, part of the problem was I wasn't getting people walking in, and I'm getting people walking in again. So those of you who have been patient, just know that like, I think all the magic that was Pawn Man will be back starting in the next episode and going on from there. So yeah, just know that like, I thought in my head, oh, I'm gonna open up a new store and I'm gonna just have people lined up out the door to sell me stuff. It'll be great. And that wasn't the case for the first couple weeks. I had to really put my name out there in the local community, and like I had to do a bunch of Facebook advertisements and stuff like that. But no, it's finally, I'm getting people coming in every day now. So the good content will resume. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you guys are not yet a Patreon, $1 a month helps. I could really use your guys' help. There's a link in my video description to become a Patreon. Well-hung gentleman out there on his bike. Well hung. My Patreon supporters get to watch Pawn Man early. I send them a private message with like an unlisted video link. So if you like the show and you want to see it early, $1 a month, you get to watch it early. I've got books on Amazon. Tell people about Pawn Man. I could really use some more reviews, and I will catch you guys back here for another episode of Pawn Man. Hopefully my plane doesn't crash in New York. Later, guys. Wah!